All right, thank you everyone for joining the final session of our second Quantum Hackathon webinar. Today we're going to be going over a couple of things, really reviewing the challenges, the prizes, those milestone prizes that we've been seeing a lot of questions about. But the main thing we're really here to talk about tonight is the validation of new ideas, what that submission process is going to look like for you all. And then, of course, we're going to dive into the tech, do a little bit of a tech review, look at a case study, and then, of course, the main activity, which is the Q&A. So we saw a handful of good questions earlier this morning, evening here, but I know we're definitely in a couple of different time zones. So good morning, good evening, wherever you're based. But with that, if you've come to this webinar with questions already, please feel free to drop them in the chat channel. If you think of a question along the way, please feel free to add it there. You can either post it to the group or you can DM myself, which is Kristen at AngelHack. With that, I would like to give a huge shout out to our hackathon partners who make this event possible, who make these webinars possible, who give us access to the tech and all of the great support around this event. And so what are we all here for? That is the Quantum Challenge. There's a few faces and names on this participant list that I've seen kind of hanging out for a little bit in the hackathon now, but I know that there's a handful of people who have just joined this event as well. So as a reminder, and maybe kind of a first time look at it, what is the challenge? What are we doing at the Quantum Hackathon? So really the overall idea is to use Quantum's payment, smart contract, and infrastructure development tools for blockchain to create an impactful dApp that's needed in today's decentralized world. So that's one reason this event is really cool, is because it's open to you. It's open to the problems that you're seeing either in your day-to-day life, that you see the blockchain community facing, that you see the general community facing, and being able to take kind of any solution from there and really just apply the tools in a way to create an impactful decentralized application. But of course, it's not the only thing that makes this event cool. There are a ton of prizes up for grabs. And instead of a typical hackathon where you're only seeing, 1, 2, maybe 3 winners, we've got 10 main winners in the overall round for this hackathon, not including our milestone prizes. So those main winners will see one first place team walking away with 150,000 USD equivalent quantum tokens. We'll then see 2 winning teams walking away with 75,000, 3 winning teams walking away with 30,000, and 4 final winning teams walking away with 10. Speaking of milestone prizes and all the other cool stuff you can end up with at this event, milestone prizes are ones that are going out either on a preliminary basis, so that's the top regional business plan, which is going to be open to everyone in just a few weeks. And there's also weekly chances to win. There's $4,000 worth of quantum tokens up for grabs every single week, and anyone can come in and win these. So the first one is Top Community of the Week, and we'll highlight these because we've gotten a couple of questions, but again, if you have any questions that you think of around these, please drop them in the channel and we'll make sure to get to those. But with the Top Community of the Week, that can be either yourself, your team. If you are in a really fun meetup group, a Facebook group, all you have to do is use your avenue to talk about the event, to get some friends interested and registered for the event. During the registration process, there is an option to say, who referred you to this event. And as long as they put your name, your team's name, or the community's name that you're a part of, there's a chance to win. And that is 2,500 quantum tokens, again, every week we're giving away. The second one is Top Update of the Week. So during each of the following weeks, we send around a type form. It's a really quick form. I think it's like 5 or 6 questions total. And all you have to do is go through, talk about, what progress you've made this week as a team, maybe some roadblocks you ran into, any help that we can provide from you, either from an AngelHack or a Quantum side. And from there, every week we go through, we pick the top update from that team, and they are awarded 1,000 Quantum tokens in USD. And then finally, Social Star of the Week. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but every week we go through on social media platforms, we look for the hashtag Quantum Hackathon, and really comparing quality and quantity, pick a social star with who will walk away with 500 USD in Qtum tokens. So we talked about the awesome prizes, we went through the challenges, but I know a lot of you are starting to work on those ideas and really put everything together in terms of a prototype. So while you're moving along the way, one thing we just want to make sure that you keep in mind is the judging criteria, because this is what the teams and the judges are going to look for when they're scoring your final demo. It's out of a score of 25 total points, weighted evenly between 5 different criteria. The first one being simplicity. So is your application simple to use? And can the team explain it clearly in 3 sentences or less? Remember that you only have 3 minutes to talk about your demonstration and to do your video submission. So it's not a lot of time, but it's really, when you're looking at hackathons, when you're looking at taking your ideas farther, pitching to VCs, it very much is the industry standard. So we want to make sure that you are able to get to that level and talk about your idea in a very effective manner and can clearly explain it so that each type of judge knows the problem and the solution that you went after. The next one here is creativity. How creative was your team in developing a solution for the challenge? This one comes in the form of looking at competition. If there is competition in the market, what is your unique selling proposition? How are you being creative and really kind of taking a step ahead there? Third one is impact. So did your team create an application that can have a real and valuable impact? That's really looking at your market, who this is going after, who's going to be able to utilize the solution. Does it have an impact on their lives or what they would be using this service for? Next one is design. So this is really beyond just the front end and everything looking nice, but taking that into consideration and then going even deeper. When you walk through your prototype, is the user experience, is the user interface intuitive and appealing? And then finally, we have Qtum usage. So was the technology applied in an innovative and functional manner? And did your application work with the features that you built into it? So as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the webinar, there's a handful of people who have been working on their ideas for a couple of days, maybe a week or two, and there's definitely still people joining every single day leading up into the hackathon. So you might be someone who's kind of formed a team at this point or are still looking at ideas, looking at teammates. Either way, it's really important to know that you have an avenue for validating your ideas, because oftentimes, even when you start working on an idea, there's a chance that you've kind of researched the market and realized a need to pivot. So for this, we just really want to encourage you, if you would like to talk through your idea, talk through the market. There are 2 people on the Angel Hack team every day in the community platform who have seen, in, not exaggerated, 100 and thousands of, over 100 hackathons a year, thousands of pitches every year. That is both myself and Jacob from the Angel Hack team. So we very much know what a structure of a demo looks like and different ways to help you make sure that your idea is going to break into a market effectively, or that you can just get that across to the judges. There's also a whole handful of amazing Qtum team members in the Slack channel and email who you can reach out, who really understand the blockchain space, the token space, how that technology can be applied to your idea, who are also here to help validate. From Natalie, John, Mike, we're all in there. So if you come upon an idea and you just want to run it past one of us, please feel free to either post in the help desk channel or DM one of us directly. And then one thing we wanted to quickly highlight in this webinar is the different types of tools you can use to validate your ideas. So this is one that we like to talk about when we're initially working on ideas, or when we're with our acceleration teams, helping them kind of move through the next steps of their idea. And what's fun about it in a hackathon sense is, you might have understood this problem you were going after, you think you built a solution, but you're having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what the next steps are to really build out a full business plan so that you can pitch a business plan along with your prototype during the demonstration. So this one here is called Lean Canvas. There's a lot of other ones out there too if you just are looking for validation formats. But for this one, what it does is it breaks down almost in a twofold, a product and a market solution. So it helps you think about your customer segments. If you have that unique value proposition, which again is one of the main judging criteria around creativity, it can help you think about maybe metrics that are unique to you, channels that are unique to you. And we'll talk about it a bit when we go into what the submission process is going to look like. But again, you only have 3 minutes for your demonstration. And one thing we really, really encourage you to talk about, at least at the end, dedicating 15 to 30 seconds to it, is next steps. You've spent a lot of time working on your idea, a lot of time building out this prototype and this demo that you'll review. And what judges oftentimes want to know is, well, where is this going? What could you do with it if you had the time, if you had the resources to continue with this idea? So what you can use Link Canvas for, and the Angel Hack team, the Qtum team, to talk about the validation of your idea, is figuring out what the strongest next step is for you and what to best include in that demonstration video. So maybe you're not sure about the key metrics or the revenue stream, but you have a really, really strong, unique value proposition. You might have an incredible unfair advantage, which is why your team is the best team to be going after this challenge. Maybe you have a very clear go-to-market strategy. So again, we encourage you to look at tools like this, to use the resources that you have in terms of the Angel Hack team, the Qtum team, and we can help you build out those business plans. So business plans, prototypes, what is this all leading to? That is the final submission process. So submissions are due by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, September 16th. We'll walk through the submission process, but just know that one person from each team should be in charge of submitting the whole project, and that each individual from the team will still need to fill out a personal form. Everything's going to be hosted on Unoodle, and we'll show you the link after this. But just know that you will need a Unoodle account. It's really quick to get registered on there to submit your project. And this is where you'll find the final challenge solutions, where you'll add your team members in your video. And then we'll keep saying it from this point out, but just remember that you have 3 minutes for your demonstration. Judges are only going to watch up to 3 minutes of your video, and a demo video is required. So we'll send out this deck in just a few days with the recording as well. So we've got some example videos on here of previous virtual winners to get an idea of how they set up their video streams, and really how they broke down that problem solution statement, saving lots of time for the prototype run through, and then also we're able to work in next steps, as we mentioned. So let's look at the submission process for this year. Jumping over, it's going to be on Unoodle. We'll send out this link along with the slides so that you can start to get familiar with it. But know that, again, you have until September 16th to submit. The really fun thing about Unoodle is, oh, let's see, I've got my annotate on there. Jump out of that. All right, so the great thing about Unoodle is you can start an application, but you don't have to finish it right away. As you can see here, we were doing a couple of demos earlier, and we can go in at any time and jump in and update these applications. But all you need to do to get started is create a new application. And from the inside, you'll be able to see the left-hand panel that talks about what the application form looks like. You'll need a project name, which can either be a team name, but more often is really the name of your overall product that you've created. The text box to describe your solution in one sentence, and then the one where you're really going to go into as much detail as possible. We'll ask about the technologies that you use, including your tech stack. We'll talk about team members. There's one in case you built some sort of website or extra link for your demo and for your product. You can add that as well. That one's not required, but the next two definitely are. They are the link to your repository, because remember that this is a fresh code event, so there will be code reviews to make sure that everything was created during the period of the hackathon, and then a link to your video demo. So I'm actually looking in the chat group now, and it looks like we have a question around the video demo. You cannot upload an MP4 file. It cannot be just a direct video upload. Instead, it needs to be a link to a website. We encourage using YouTube or Vimeo if possible. If you're not able to use either of those channels, just let us know. And you can host it on your personal website, just somewhere where we can go, where it's a security protected link, HTTPS for all the judges, and they can watch and stream the video from there. And then one important thing to mention as well is if you're uploading to YouTube or Vimeo, just making sure that if it's to your public account, you don't need to make the video public, but it does need to be unlisted, because if you keep your video private, the judges will not be able to watch and view. So just keep that in mind as you're updating it. Then of course we've got the participation agreement information there. And as you fill out this application, you'll go forward, you'll invite all of your team members here. They'll receive a separate email that allows them to come on and fill out their personal form, just letting us know country of residence, where we can contact them if they are one of the winning teams. And then Unidle's also got some fancy tools in here of a checklist letting you know exactly what you still need to fill out, as well as the status. So if you have any questions about the submission process, please let us know. But in the meantime, let's head over to our main event, Tech Review. All right, do we have Yi from Qtum on the call? I think we do. Let me see. Yi, are you there?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we can hear you, and I've made you co-host, so I will stop my share now, and you can jump on.
Okay. Share my screen. Where is it? Yeah, hi everybody. So how can I share my screen? I do not have that button.
Let me make sure that you are a co-host here. So you should be able to see, do you see a green button on the bottom that says share screen?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can make you a host instead, and if that might help. All right, so you're now the host. Has the button shown up?
Yeah, but I can't find that button. I can only open my camera. Yeah, it's my camera, but not the screen share. Well, where is it? Sorry. Okay, I found it. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Great, no worries. We can see your screen now.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Yi. I'm from Qtum team. And today I'll show you how to develop a gambling game in Qtum. Yeah, as we know, the formal 3D game is very famous these days. It's very popular. So I'll show you how to build a contract game just like formal 3D. Here we named this game as Gambler. It's a smart contract here named Gambler, and we set two variables. The first one is it's named end block num. The second is the last deposit address. This game is very simple. We simplified the rules like this. First, the game ends in 10 blocks. It means when after 10 blocks, the game is over, and the last person who deposits money to the contract will win the game, and he can withdraw all the money from the contract. Okay, the second variable is address variable. It's named the last deposit address. Yeah, so it's recorded the address who deposit money to the contract last. Okay, here is the constructor of the contract. We initialize the variable end block num here. It's set to the block number and add to 10. Okay, the second function is the deposit function. You should make this function payable so people can deposit money to this function. We should require the block number less than the end block num. Otherwise, the game is over. Okay, so then we should set the variable last deposit address to the message sender. Okay, this deposit function. Next is the withdraw function, which means the last one who deposits money to the contract can withdraw all the money from the contract. First, it requires that the block number should more than or equals to the end block number. Yeah, that ensures the game is over. And the second one is that the message sender should equal to the last deposit address. That means only the last one can withdraw money. So when these two requirements are fulfilled, then the message sender can transfer the money from the contract to his own address, like this. Okay, the third function is named get data. It is used to show the data of the contract. You can use it to get the data and show it in the website. Okay, here we show three variables. The first is the value of the contract. That means how much money is in the contract. The second is block left, which means how many blocks is left before game over. The third one is the address, which is the one who deposit money last. Okay, here we should show how to deploy this contract. We can use the tool Solar, which you can find in the GitHub of Qtum. It's a tool which is used to deploy contract. Here we just type this command: solar deploy gamble.sol. Here is the RPC API of the Qtum D. We launch a RPC here like this. The user is E, the password is also E, and the port is 12345. So we can use this command to deploy the gamble.sol, just like this. First, we should remove the config. Okay, it's like this. Yeah, you can find that a new transaction is created, which is named contract standard transaction. Yeah, we should wait a few seconds before a new block is generated. Then the contract take effect. Okay, you can see the contract take effect now. Next, I'll show you how to use the Qtum.js to get the data from a contract. You should use it to interact with your contract and get the data and show the data in your website. Okay, here we just require this package Qtum.js, and here is this is the file which is generated by the Solar. You can see here is the ABI, the address of the contract, the sender, also the sender hex address. Okay, the third one is the .sol file, which is the source code of the contract. So you can use the contract.call get data. Get data is a function, is a callable function in the contract. Yeah, you can use it to get the return of the get data function. Here we set the first return is that the value, and the second is the block left, and third is like this. So you can use this function you can use this index.js file to get the data from the contract. Okay, we will run it like this. Node index.js. Okay, then you can see that. Okay, here. You can see that it's the data of the contract. Now its block left is 0. I'll launch a new block. Launch a new contract. Wait a moment. We should wait a moment. Okay, a new contract is created. Okay, it's created. Take it. Wait, and I will run the index.js again. Now you can see that the data of the contract is shown in this website. Okay, I refresh it, and the block left is decreased as the new blocks are created. Yeah, okay. The third, how to deposit money to the contract. We can simply use the Qt wallet like this. We choose the send to. We choose to smart contracts send to. Okay, and we should type the contract address, copy the contract address here to here, and the ABI. Yeah, as I see you recently mentioned the MetaMask. Yeah, we are developing a software like MetaMask, which named Qcrypto. I'll show you later. First, I'll show you how to use the Qt wallet to interact with the contract. Here we choose the deposit function, and we just send 2 tokens to that function. Okay. Also, we should wait several seconds before this contract send transaction take effect. Oh, sorry, the game is over. I launched another game. Sorry. I'm deploying another smart contract, and then I should use the new contract, the address of a new contract, to replace here. Okay, here. Also send 2 tokens to that contract. Yeah. And wait several seconds before it takes effect. Yeah, and a new transaction is created, and we should wait a new block. Okay, we should wait several seconds. Okay, a new block is created. I should run this. Yeah, okay, you can see that 2 tokens is deposit, and the block left is 5, and also the last deposit address is the address which I just used to send tokens to the contract. Okay, this is how we develop a gambling game contract. You can do also like this. Also, I found that you are interested in the MetaMask. So I'll show you how the Qcrypto works. Also, the Qcrypto is in beta version, so it may have some bugs. You can also use the Qcrypto to interact with smart contracts of Qtum. First, you should log in the Qcrypto. It takes several seconds. Not very fast. Okay. And log in a testnet. I think Qcrypto now is not it's not very. Yeah, you can just use the function like this. Qcrypto provide a raw call send to contract like this, and then it opens a website, a web. It shows you this transaction is from this address and to the contract address. It will spend 1.5 Qtum, and the transaction fee is like this. You should press the confirm button and it takes effect, and the transaction is sent. Okay. So if you have any questions about it, you should ask me just on Slack or anything, or email or anything else. Yes, thank you. Yeah, okay.
Great.
I'm finished.
Thank you, Yi. Okay, and so that brings us to our Q&A portion of the webinar. I already see a couple of questions in here, and thank you to everyone who's kind of been going back and supporting with answers alongside in the chat. But we'll go through, we'll read out a few, and then if you have any questions from that, anything that pops in your head, please add it in the group chat now. Okay, so moving through, can we make an iOS app with the Qtum tech stack?
Yeah, of course. Qtum now has iOS wallet, but it's not that good, you know. So you can also make an iOS wallet. And there another question that random number generator in Solidity. I think Solidity do not support random, so we cannot generate a random number in Solidity. It's not. I think there's no way.
And that was to the random number generator and where is it? Solidity question?
Yeah, no, there's no random number generator in Solidity.
All right, thank you. So we have, are the webinars recorded for future references? They are, however, it does take a few days to get them uploaded. So being able to join, see it early, and then ask questions is always a positive here, but we will be sending out a link to the video in a few days from now. All right. I had a technical difficulty with, oh, no, not a question, just someone giving us an update. Do you need to sign up for Unoodle? You will. It's a very quick sign up progress and process. You should only need to enter a handful of information such as your name and email address. And then from in there, you should be able to just go and start working on your project submission. As for the URL, I've seen a couple of requests for it, so we'll make sure to post that in the Slack group as well as send out in the overall email.
I think Slack is better. I have no idea what Unoodle is. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Unoodle is actually for us. It's where we do the submission process. So that's where we'll be posting a link to it in Slack and an email.
Yeah.
All right, so we have, Slack. Is there a link for the Qt wallet?
A link, I think that you can find it in the GitHub.
Okay, and then we have someone following up on the iOS question that says, is iOS app not a good idea then to produce?
Oh, sorry. I mean, iOS app is a good idea. Sorry. iOS app is actually a good idea. Our iOS wallet is not that good now, as you know.
Yeah, and so I think adding on to that one, if you have an idea for the application, feel free to definitely ping myself or Natalie, and we can also walk through, you know, if what you're looking for is a possibility with the technology, and then if it makes sense from an idea validation standpoint. All right, so we have, please describe Qtum usage criterion, which can bring up to 5 points. What is more important, the way we apply Qtum or quality of the smart contract? Yes, so going back to our judging criteria for a moment, that is the last one here, which is rounding out. So it's the same amount of leverage as the other criteria points. But for Qtum usage, it's really about how they're applying and how you're applying the technology. So it's a little bit of a dual question. It's making sure that the way you've applied it is functional so that the technology works when you run through your demo. And then overall, the use of it. So does it directly connect to your overall idea? Is it a big factor of the impact that you're making with your prototyping with your idea? Or is it something that you just kind of threw on there to make sure that it was somehow added? All right, so is there a proper guide to test Qtum Wallet MetaMask-like extension? And yeah, I think that one's for you, as well as, is it okay to make our own MetaMask version regardless in KeyRPTO?
Hi, Bobby. I asked another guy for your question. He's in charge of the Crypto project. I cannot answer your question now, and I'll urge him to answer it. Thank you.
Okay, so we will share a couple of these questions with the Qtum team just to make sure that we get those full answers for you. So good questions. Let me go back up here. So I have a question about the milestone prize for business plan. Is the financial model required in the business plan? Would it be better if we add a quick presentation? So let me go to the milestone prizes here. In terms of the top update of the week, it's not needed, but it is highly recommended if you are going after the top original business plan that you include some sort of, and going back to our lean canvas model here, an idea and just showing that you understand the potential revenue streams, the potential cost structure. If you have an ideal financial model that you see working really well, that's great. But again, we very much know that this is a hackathon and that there's a lot of things being pivoted on, ideas that still need to be fully worked out. So it's not a necessity in terms of creating a business plan, but if you have something you feel very strongly about that you think will very much add to your overall plan, then we suggest that you include it for that one. And you can definitely add a presentation to the business plan as well. That's welcome. What we'll be doing is this submission will be through Typeform, and we'll have an area where you can upload any additional links as well as kind of a written business plan. Is quantum usage related to usage of tokens? So I'm not sure exactly if you're asking if it's the amount of tokens included or kind of what that question is towards, but just to fully cover it, it's not about the amount of APIs that are included or kind of the overall complete focus on the quantum technology. It's making sure that it's applied in a way where the tech works very effectively with the overall prototype and idea that you have, and that it is a part of the impact and solution rather than just being something that was added kind of last minute. Is it too late to join the team? Definitely not too late to join the team. I know we've got a couple of people sending out referrals this week, so we should have even more people joining this week and next week. What we do suggest if you are looking for team formation is to jump in that team formation channel in Slack and or email one of us and we can help kind of get that set up for you. All right, so it looks like we've gone through all of the questions here. If you end up having any other questions, something hits you tonight or in the next few days, please feel free to drop all of those questions in the general channel or the help desk channel, as both the AngelHack and Quantum team are on there. If you're not able to join Slack, please feel free to send us a message and an email. My email address is kristen@angelhack.com, and we will get those added and start talking about them to make sure that everyone's got those answers. All right, so with that, thank you to everyone who was able to join either in the night, in the morning, wherever you are in the world. We appreciate it. We're really excited that you're excited and already hearing about these ideas that you have. So yes, we'll stay tuned for those and we'll be sharing everything shortly. So thanks everyone.